right. Hello, Kendall.
Hello.
This is the J.N. Washington Associate Interviews. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Kendall Finley. I am a senior at UCF studying advertising and public relations. Graduating a year early, so I'm graduating next semester. Very exciting. And then this has been my first semester interning at J.N. Washington.
Excellent, excellent. So, what was the decision for you to choose J&W as your internship?
Yeah, I thought when I was going through like the list of people that were going to be at Intern Pursuit last semester, I thought it was interesting that there was like a bipartisan like political firm because the politics in the US have been so divided, especially like even more so in the past couple of years. And as someone who like grew up very conservative and now is on like the complete opposite end of the spectrum, I thought that it'd be very interesting to work somewhere where like you can have those conversations and it's not just like people stonewalling and not wanting to like communicate because they can't be wrong, but having like these good conversations and like getting to see both perspectives. That was something I was really interested in. And also the podcast I thought was interesting. Similar to Dan, I also like listening to podcasts, and I was like, well, that's really cool.
Excellent.
So those are some of the reasons I picked J.N. Washington.
All right, thank you. What J&W project or activity are you currently focused on?
Yeah, so I am mainly working on our newsletter. We put out our first edition in October a few weeks ago from when we are filming this right now. And then our second edition, I believe, will come out before this episode does. And then I put out my first blog post a couple weeks ago, and then I'm starting to work on some other ideas for some more to include in our upcoming newsletter. So that's exciting. But mostly the blog and the newsletter, and then sometimes speaking on the podcast.
Excellent. We've gotten some really good feedback in regards to the newsletter and the blog. So congratulations on taking the lead on those things. J&W are known as the political innovators. What innovation would you want to contribute to or bring to J&W's community before your internship is over?
I think that I would like to see less admission of crimes on the podcast. I think that would be very innovative.
Less omission of crimes.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I have a certain associate that likes to incriminate herself on the podcast. I won't name names, but I just think maybe we should have some more ground rules for talking on the podcast.
Good to know.
I think that'd be very innovative.
What moment in your J&W experience has been the most memorable?
Probably also one of the times where a certain associate has said a few remarks on the podcast. One of them just got posted to our socials, so go check that out if you want to see one of her moments in action. But probably just sitting over at the counter watching the episodes get filmed and trying not to laugh at some of the comments that have been made on the podcast. But if you want to see those comments, you have to watch the episode. So
yes, indeed. All of our podcasts.
All of our podcasts, you got to figure out which one it is.
It may have been the flagship. You can't make this shit up. But then again, it could have been across any one of them. So, given a moment in time, one opportunity, with the resources that you need, what is the one thing you would want to accomplish at J&W?
I would love to get like 1,000 subscribers to the newsletter. You know, I'd like to get a big following. Let people know who J.N. Washington is, get a lot of like bigger names writing for the newsletter, but really just expanding our audience and like letting people know like who J.N. Washington is, what we do, and why you should care. So I think that's what I would like to do.
Excellent. That's awesome. And I'm sure that you and I will have more conversation about that. But thank you so much. Is there any parting statements or words of inspiration that you like to leave for our viewers?
You gotta watch the episodes to get the juicy content. So make sure you watch. You can't make this shit up every week, every episode. Like, follow, subscribe, share. Yeah, and tune in next time for another associate interview.
Excellent. Thank you, Kendall. We really appreciate everything that you're doing for JNW.
Yeah, thank you.